What up, gang? What up, squad? It's your boy, Are You Serious? The realest, the coolest, the chillest young king. On YouTube platform as we speak, we back with another banger. I'm trying to get back into doing this YouTube, man. I'm not gonna lie, I just haven't been feeling it. Haven't been feeling much of nothing. But just I want to get that feeling back, So we're gonna bring it back today. And this might be a little bit of TMI, but I found it interesting. Let me make sure my camera is straight, bro. It might be a little TMI, but I thought it was interesting. This lady tells a story how she got tested positive for HIV and I can't say that word. I'm sorry, HIV and the herp. You feel me? So I want to hear her story. How the hell did that happen? All right, and I'm sure y'all want to know it too. So we're gonna go ahead and check it out. If you're new, subscribe, like the video, comment some more bangers. We got my dog. What's his name? MTR. That's my dog. I watch all his videos. So if you watching this, MTR, I fuck with you, big dog. You teach me a lot. So is Cooley, all them boys, man. Keep it up. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
So on December 20th of 2023, I went into the gynecologist for a routine appointment. She did a pap smear, and I was like, well, since I'm here, can you also do blood work and run a full STD panel, including HIV? Because some places, I don't know, when you ask for STD testing, they don't test for HIV.
And that's insane. That's how that keeps getting spreaded. They not testing for it. For what?
And I also said including HSV1. HSV1 is herpes simplex virus 1. It is the oral herpes. And some places won't test for it because a lot of the population actually has oral herpes.
Yeah.
A cold
it's like
sore.
80%.
So a lot of people test positive for it, but then
I had
they
a
don't
cold
want
sore
people to
yesterday.
freak out because a lot of people may not ever have a breakout. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what one physician told me. And I was like, I don't know what everybody else do. I would like to know all of it. Anyway, so I asked her for those labs and she asked me, am I asking because I have any concerns or am I asking because, I want to do preventative testing? And I let her know preventative testing. If I am playing adult twister, then I get tested every 6 months. If I'm not playing adult twister, then I get tested once a year. The last time I like tested was March of 2023. It was now December 2023, so I was like, just include it in there. When I left the OBGYN office, I normally go to Quest Diagnostic, which is to the right. I went there and it was probably like 5:30 and they didn't have any more appointments left because I think they closed at 6 or something like that. So I was like, damn, but there's another urgent care right on the left and they have a lab in there. So I went to that urgent care to get my blood drawn. Okay. This is very important. That was on the 20th. On the 23rd, I got a notification that said my results were ready in the portal. I logged onto the portal. I didn't even go to the STD testing because I look at my blood work first. A doctor once told me that I am mildly anemic. So they asked me to take iron. Anyway. So I checked my blood work first, and then I was checking the STDs one by one. Not detected, not detected, negative, not detected. And then I get to, it said like HSV 1 and 2 antibodies or something like that, or antigens. And then it said like a high level of it. I immediately got on the phone with that doctor's office. She looked it up and she was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to see if the physician can call you back. Yeah. You see what I see. She called me back and she was like, oh, I'm looking at your lab results. She's trying to go over everything else. I'm like, girl, I don't care about none of that. And she was like, oh, I'm looking on here and it says, HSV 1 and 2 positive. She was like, I remember you asked for the test specifically. Is there something that you're worried about? There was nothing I was worried about. Actually, I was completely fine until I just logged on here and saw that it was positive. So now I'm freaking out. I am really freaking out. Like I can feel myself I can feel the anxiety just building. This is the first time I've tested positive for anything, mind you. And she was like, you've never tested positive for anything. Like, I'm going to just have them run it one more time because we don't know if it's HSV1 or HSV2. HSV1 is oral herpes. HSV2 is genital herpes. She was like, so we're going to have...
I got a whole story about that if y'all want to hear it. I don't know if I'm man enough to say it. If I get enough comments, I'll talk about it.
Them rerun the test. This was on the 23rd of December. This was right before Christmas. The whole time during Christmas, I'm like stressed the fuck out. And thank the Lord I was on Christmas break from school because that would have been too much for me to handle. I done cried. I'm like, oh my God, what? Thankfully that I was in school at the time. So I had learned about this. So I'm like, okay, you know exactly what herpes is, how it works, what you have to do, just calm down, you'll be okay. So then I'm like, wait a minute. I got it from somewhere. So I didn't say nothing because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait until she run the second test. I finally got the results back on December 28th. I got the portal notification first. So I logged online. I seen that it said HSV1 not detected, HSV2 not detected. As soon as I was getting off of the portal, my phone was ringing, and it was the physician telling me like, hey, good news, you actually don't have herpes. And I'm like, okay, well, why did I test positive? She's like, I don't know. So apparently that urgent care runs a different test than Quest Diagnostic does. And for whatever reason, there's some antigen in my blood that will always test positive on that specific test.
Damn.
Now let's fast forward to March 3rd of 2025.
Okay.
Now I'm going to
later.
the primary care physician. When I get a physical, I also tell her about my hip on the right side. Anybody that knows me knows I've been having hip pain for the past 2 years, and I cannot figure out why. She's like, okay, we're going to get you some x-rays done. We're going to run labs to make sure it's not cancer. We're going to check for inflammation.
What?
We're going to check your blood count. They want to make sure it's not arthritis, osteoporosis, like all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, well, since you run in my blood, can you check me for STDs as well? Can you make sure that you include HSV1, HSV2, and HIV? She was like, well, I don't know. They usually don't run HIV. Like, I have to. I'm like, no, I want it all. Why would I not do it? I want it all.
Bro.
I can only imagine that, and I'm not just looking at her tongue ring and coming up to this conclusion, but I can only imagine that the rate that she wants to get tested probably has something to do with the degree of promiscuity within her life. Because getting tested once every couple of months seems to be excessive if you are using protection, but not excessive if you're not using protection. Let's proceed.
It's like, okay, do you have any concerns? I said, no, it's just preventative testing. Fun fact, a lot of places or a lot of like clinics, if you tell them it's preventative testing, they will test you for free. If you tell them that like, oh, I think something's wrong or I've been having this issue, then they will charge you or charge your insurance.
Damn,
but usually,
that's crazy. Preventative, that's crazy.
If it's preventative, then they will cover it for free.
I wish I would have known that.
Another fun fact, and this probably actually contradicts what I just said, is that herpes, the HSV simplex 2 virus, can be contracted even when there has been protection or a condom used. Yeah.
So ask them. So I'm telling her like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about that for real, girl. Like since the last test I test negative, I've only been with one person 2 times. Like I would know the 2 exact dates. I'm more so concerned about what's going on with my hip. She's like, oh, okay,
She
cool.
letting everybody hit.
Turns out every time I say that, I'm wrong. So I went, got my blood drawn. Cool. That was on March 3rd, 2025. So on March 7th, I got an email saying that my lab results have been uploaded into the patient portal. Remind you, this is a new primary care, so I haven't registered for the patient portal yet. So I get on the phone with the doctor's office and I ask them if I can speak with her so that I can get my lab results. And they're like, well, you need an appointment. Our next appointment isn't until Monday. And if it's anything critical, if anything crucial, anything that stands out, she will be checking them later today and she will call you. I said, okay. So on March 10th, I have a 9:45 appointment with a psychiatrist. They want to see if I have ADHD. Turns out they diagnosed me with anxiety and depression, right? Very important to this story. Because I hang up with them.
Everybody gets, like, I promise you, everyone that gets, like, that goes to a psychiatrist or something, they give everyone depression. Everyone. I'm like, how can everyone be depressed? Like, that's crazy.
10 minutes later, I get a call, and it's the doctor calling me. And she's like, yeah, so we have some labs come back with abnormal results. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, I have bone cancer. That's my immediate thought. And then, like, as soon as the thought finishes, she said, yeah, you tested positive for HIV. Huh? You tested positive for HIV. I said, are you sure? Like, can you read me back my name, first and last name and date of birth? Because are you checking the right chart? I have never created a patient portal login type shit so fast. Like while we're on the phone with them, I'm on my phone logging into the patient portal. It's on like page 3. I get to HIV, baby. It says repeatedly reactive.
Whoa.
Damn. By the way, shout out to her for having the guts to release this information. It makes me feel like this is an active HIPAA violation, but she released this to TikTok so we can go over it. HIV 1/2 antigen antibody 4th generation. Damn, and here it goes in red down up over here. Value is repeatedly reactive. The repeatedly reactive screening result is confirmed by duplicate repeat testing and indicates a possibility of presence of HIV-1 or 2 antibodies or HIV-1 antigen. Testing is required for diagnosis. Therefore, these screening results must be correlated. I felt something similar when I was diagnosed with testicular cancer when it came back, and I looked in it and I was like, wait a minute, does that say cancer detected? Getting major diagnosis like this can be earth-shattering. Nevertheless, let's get back in there.
Damn, this nigga had that shit.
Emotionally, I did not have the same reaction or as strong as a reaction as I did for the herpes. I was more so just like,
because you can't believe it.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. That was the least of my concerns, like the very fucking least of my concerns. So she's like, yeah, we got to get you to a specialist immediately. Like, we have an appointment tomorrow at 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. Which one do you want? And I'm like, I have work tomorrow. And she's like, listen, the next appointment is not for 2 months, so you need to make this appointment. I get off the phone and I'm just like, all right, well, I got HIV. Like, for some reason, the herpes scared the heck out of me, but with the HIV, I was just kind of like, all right, as long as you're taking your medicine and doing what you're supposed to do, following whatever your treatment plan is, you can have a long, healthy life with it.
That's true, especially nowadays. That is very true. It's just, for one, nobody wants to go through that. And for two, the medicine could not work. It could work one day and not work the next. So it's just like, you know, it's a flip of a coin.
HIV, you can have children and literally have a normal life. The worst part about it to me is, one, you can't breastfeed because you can transfer the HIV to your baby. Yeah. Two, I'm like, I have to tell everybody that I date now. Like, I damn near got to say, hi, my name is Kira and I have HIV. And then I went to my friend's birthday party that day because that was her literal birthday. Or I didn't go to her birthday party, but she had like a little dinner at her house. People were probably shocked to hear this video right now because I haven't really told anybody. So it's the next day. I get to the appointment again, still calm, cool, collected. I'm talking to the lady who draws blood, and I'm like, yeah, so like, you know, how long does it take? Like, what are we checking for exactly? And she was like, I'm gonna partner you with a nurse to answer all those questions. So
she was probably a little bit numb as well because she's gotten the negative false positive test for herpes, and then maybe somewhere deep down she wanted to ultra confirm for HIV just in case it was yet another mistake. Let's go.
So the nurse called me in the back and she was like, okay, so the test you took the first time was detecting whether or not you have HIV. It comes back positive. They tested more than one time. That's why it says repeatedly reactive. So there's HIV-1 and HIV-2. HIV-1 is contracted here in the US. HIV-2 is contracted overseas. It looks like you have HIV-1, so now we're going to check your blood to see how much of the HIV is in your system. So they're checking for the viral load. A viral load less than 30 is negative. A viral load more than 30 is positive. That'll determine what your treatment is, and you'll go forward with the doctor from there. Usually 5 days to a week and a half to get the results back. We'll give you a follow-up appointment in 2 weeks, but your results will be back way before then.
So she's just recording this now, but she got the results back over a year ago.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Pi. It's a free Google Chrome extension, and it basically blocks
at this point. Shout out to this young lady again for talking through this particular scenario. What is a nightmare for her can be a learning lesson for other people. And that's why I want to leave the video off here today. While I think that it's interesting watching her talk through all of this, you would be remiss not to walk out of here with a learning lesson based off of her situation. I said it once, I said it before, and I usually say it in the context of having kids before you're ready, but wrap it up, wrap it up. Wrap it up. I wish nobody, even my worst enemy, not wake up one day and get a diagnosis like this. We're all going to get bad diagnosis at some point in life, right? If you live long enough, something was going to happen to you. But when it comes to these viruses, these illnesses that can be prevented by the use of a rubber, by the use of abstinence, by use of not encountering high-risk situations or people, prioritizing going raw, the feeling of that over long-term health complications or implications is actually insane if you think about it. And I'm sure if I had a conversation with her, she would echo that she regrets ever meeting this person, that she regrets not utilizing a condom for, what does she call it, adult twister, children, and how that may exit them from the dating marketplace for the majority of guys. Well, what about something like an incurable disease? Probably more dudes are not going to want to sign up for that. Yeah. And it was all based off of decisions that she made. Stay safe out there. And you either stayed in that situation.
Yeah. He had posted another video about her. Let me see. So it was like, I got STD, this one. So I don't know why I got that red line, but it says big update. So if this video does well, I'll react to that one and see what the big update is. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna fake it. I'm gonna actually wait and see what this video does. And if it does, fairly well, I'll react to that one and see what she talking about. But in any case, we're gonna go ahead and close out the video. I'm back on YouTube, so y'all let me know what y'all want me to react to. I'll do music, but I'm pretty done with music. I might do music here and there, obviously, but it's not gonna be a strictly music channel anymore. But trying to kind of branch out and do a little bit more. You feel me? But anyway, I love y'all, man. We gone.